This is the CLT, a safe place for you and me. Possibly the best show in the Queen City that's not on TV. Hi, I'm live, and it's 6 o'clock, and this is a live edition of That's the CLT right here on the MLS Charlotte Instagram account. Hello, everybody. We're glad to have you. You're all joining in, and now I'm going to send that invite to our special guest, Susannah Collins. Let's get this going. And got it. It's waiting for the connection. Hey guys, we're so happy to have you. I'm so thankful that you guys decided to tune in. Yes, it's up.
What's up, girl?
What is up, Susanna?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Just, living that quarantine life.
Aren't we all, right? It's so nice to finally meet you.
I know. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on. This is great.
No, thank you. I would play for you my theme song. I don't know if you've heard it. It's really bad. So I think I'll spare everybody that. I tried to sing. I made my dog bark. There's a lot
Whatever
going
gets
on.
through. I love it.
So I just wanted to have you on because obviously you know all things MLS. Susanna is a host and reporter for Major League Soccer, and so we're thrilled to have you. Maybe you want to give everybody some insight to your role and what you've been up to.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is my 5th season with MLS, which is it's gone by in a blink. I started there in 2016, and so it is now 2020, and so this would have been my 5th season with them, and it's honestly, from when I started to where we are now, it's been such a cool thing to watch the league grow. I mean, even just the tentpole events, like the All-Star Game and MLS Cup, every year it's gotten bigger and bigger, and the fan bases have gotten bigger and bigger, and that's been really cool to be a part of. I get to wear a ton of different hats in my role, so we do studio shows, I host podcasts, we do features, sit-down interviews, I'll do the sideline reporting thing. I mean, it's kind of literally a jack of all trades at MLS, which is really cool because I'm never bored, I'll put it that way. But it's really, really fun. It's really fun.
We love your work. I'm a big fan of your work and watching you. So this is so cool
back
for you to hop on for us.
Can I just say, I'm so excited to have you in the MLS family. I feel like this is such a win for soccer and for MLS. You are such a queen, and I have really admired your work from your NFL days. So this is so I also am obsessed with Charlotte. I'm so excited that they're getting a team. So the fact that you are now involved too, it's like the icing on the cake. So great.
Yes, we will have to catch up once we're able to, and once you get to come here.
Yes!
And how fitting that we're getting to do this. This is the 4-month anniversary of Charlotte MLS, of the launch day. And I know you were there. How was that?
It was amazing. It was I've gotten to be a part of a lot of these announcements because MLS is expanding, which is an awesome thing. So I have been at a ton of these, and Charlotte, number one, Charlotte's just such a great city, and I have always loved it there. I used to go there quite a bit for work when I did some stuff in NASCAR, and so I've always had an affinity for Charlotte and the people and the sports fans there. They're so lovely. They're passionate, but they've got that Southern hospitality thing going on. They're welcoming and inviting. And it was exactly that when I was there. And the Mint City Collective, I got to sit down and do some interviews with some of the members there. And I was just blown away by their soccer IQ, by their passion for the game, their passion for the city. And it was that day, it was just coming down, and it didn't stop anybody from showing up. I mean, these people were out in the streets in the rain, and it was just such a cool community there. And I just know that soccer in Charlotte is going to be a big deal, and I'm super, super pumped.
And we're getting some more people joining us. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be taking some of your questions too as we go along throughout all this. So you can fire away, and I'll keep looking down to check. Susanna, you mentioned how you were here. We know you've covered a lot of ground, 5 years on the MLS. So, and I actually saw you from afar when Atlanta United won the championship game.
Yes.
So I've got to add, like, there's going to be a ton of rivalries, right? When you see Nashville here to Charlotte to Atlanta, like, what's that landscape like in the
big
MLS?
You know, it's so funny. It's this is only, you know, they're new. They're still like newbies. This is what their third or fourth season, and you know, they win MLS Cup in 2018, their second season in the league, and all of a sudden they've become the team with the target on their back, right? And it's kind of great because like we've got teams like Nashville coming in, who they have established that Atlanta right now is their biggest rival, and then the rivalry with Orlando is there, and then even the Miami fans now are like, oh no, we all want to beat Orlando or beat Atlanta, and so it's become like that team that everybody kind of like wants to go after and beat, and especially with all the teams coming in the southeast region of the states now. It's awesome. Like it's like I think like the rivalries that are going to exist and develop there are going to be the same as they are in like the Pacific Northwest. So like the Seattle, the Portland, Vancouver, because that is staunch. Those rivalries are well in place. But I think that soccer in the Southeast is going to rival that tenfold. I love it. I'm so excited.
I cannot wait. And I know I see a lot of the questions coming in, some of them asking about our uniforms and stuff. Rest assured, guys, you're going to find out soon. You'll find out when we all do. We're so excited to be able to bring you that whenever it happens. So just stay tuned for that. Sit tight. I know Susanna's excited to see that as well. I want to fire off some questions for you since you've been basically everywhere. So can you give us some insight into what's maybe the best stadium that has the best food in the MLS?
Oh gosh, this is hard because there are some of the new stadiums that have been built in the last sort of like 3 to 4 years. I mean, the food game is ridiculous. So I was at I've been to Allianz Field that opened last year in Minneapolis in St. Paul, and they have this beer hall at one end of the stadium, and it's this massive beer hall, and they've got those big fat pretzels and like one of the best burgers I've ever had, and they have all these beers on tap. So that is pretty outrageous. Bank of California Stadium, where LAFC plays, their food, they have this this like really massive nacho plate that is just out of this world. It's so good. And then Portland has all the food trucks around, so it's hard to pick, but the new stadiums are like bananas. So good.
All right, then I'm going to ask you too about the atmosphere then. So what's the best soccer atmosphere that's going on that's around the league? What would you say? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
This is hard because there's so many I could choose from. I mean, you mentioned Atlanta, and I mean, it's hard to compete with like 70,000 fans in a domed stadium. You would not believe. I mean, you were like how loud it gets.
Yeah, it was crazy. I lost I popped the vocal cord.
I believe it. So my colleague Jillian Sakovitz is the sideline reporter for Fox Sports.
I see her. She's here. She's joined us.
And she had to get special earbuds for her sideline hits because she literally couldn't hear herself. And she told me about this. And then I went down there and had to do the in-stadium hosting for the All-Star game and an MLS Cup. And I was like, thank God, because I would not have been able to hear anything. So Atlanta's pretty, I know the Charlotte fans don't want to hear that, but Atlanta's pretty great. Portland, I think, is probably the one that I enjoy the most because there's something about Providence Park that's just really special. It still has that kind of old school feel. It's downtown. It's almost like underground the way it's set up. And in the same way, like the noise, it holds it in. And those supporters do not stop. They don't take a breath the entire match. So that's I always tell people, if you're going to travel, like if you're going to go to a road game, try to go to a game in Portland, because number one, it's a fantastic city, and number two, that atmosphere is just like second to none.
Wait, I gotta jump in because Jillian said to ask about Ike's nachos.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I did so I did a shoot with Minnesota United and a bunch of their players, and it was like a Top Chef competition. So it was right when Allianz opened, and we had Iko Para. He made this like nacho lasagna, and it was so good. And he actually ended up winning. But Chef Justin Sutherland, who was a former contestant on Top Chef, is their like executive chef of the whole thing. And so he was one of the judges with me, and we both picked Ike's nachos. It was him and Dane St. Clair, and they just crushed it. It was so good. So good.
God, I got thrown on eating food tonight talking about this food.
I know. Can I eat? All I do is eat, by the way.
Jerseys. Do you have a favorite kit? Is there a favorite kit out there?
Ooh, this is okay. So
I know I'm grilling you.
I know this one is hard too, because I feel like there are a few teams that like consistently just kind of bring the style. And this is a team that I feel like we don't talk about enough, but the Vancouver Whitecaps, I consistently love their uniforms. They're always just super clean. Last year they had like the little collar. I love the little collar. It was like a white kit with a navy blue collar. Looked super fresh. This year they've got the navy with like the very subtle wave pattern in it. Love that one. I love the Red Bulls have a kit this year. It's their away kit. It's black with the red accents on it, and it's very like fierce looking, very intimidating. So those are probably my favorite two right now.
I know we talked about a little bit off the top, just this unique time that we're in with everybody staying at home. But now there's been this great initiative with MLS Unites, and I know you're having a big hand in that. What are some of the things that are going on around the league just to bring us all together during this time?
It's really, really cool. And I'm so proud of the way MLS has kind of just rallied the soccer community together in this initiative. Our first week was MLS Unites for Health and Wellness. And so we had a bunch of the players kind of showcasing how they're staying fit at home, which was super entertaining. And then a lot of them had like their kids involved, like they were doing like push-ups, like using their kids as weights, which was pretty cool. Last week or this week was all about inspiring kids. And so Jeff Antonella, who is the goalkeeper for Portland, didn't even know this about him. This is what's so cool kind of about one of the silver linings of this whole situation. You learn things about people. He's written an entire series of children's books, and they're focused around like big sporting events, and he's been doing this thing where he reads them out loud to kids on YouTube. And it's just really, really cool. And it's such a cool way to kind of feel connected and feel like, we're all in this together. And so, yeah, there's a bunch of really cool initiatives that they're pushing out, and it's a fun way to kind of see the brighter side of things right now.
I know on our end we've been doing a soccer at home challenge. So with some of our community engagement guys like Dustin and Jorge posting different training videos and stuff that you could do at home in your backyard, from juggling to I think they're running a dog around in one video. So
whatever works.
Whatever works to keep us all busy during this time.
No doubt.
I also got to ask you too, I know being at home, and you're in New York, right?
Yep, I sure am. Okay.
Are there any places you've been ordering from, or have you been able to order from anywhere during this time since we're all here? Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Because like I'm like, well, I should support my local businesses, right?
Yes.
So that's a totally good excuse for me to continue to get takeout. So Williamsburg Pizza, I have been a very, very good customer to them recently. There's a Katsu Sushi, the sushi place.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Which I'm like, it's a little lighter, it's a little bit healthy, but yeah, I will say the one, New York is kind of it's crazy right now to see how quiet it is, but there are still quite a lot of options food wise. So I'm in good shape in that front. Yikes, I wish I wasn't.
No, I've been ordering a ton of like Sweet Girl cookies. I always would buy those whenever there's these chocolate chip cookies, which I do need to order some more. But anytime I would fly into Charlotte for work over the past 5 years, I'd always grab one at the airport. So I love chocolate chip cookies, and that's like a weakness for me. But maybe there's some good ones around the league. I don't know.
Listen, I feel like there's no rules in quarantine, right? It's like whatever gets you through, it's fine. Do what you got to do. No judgment. These calories don't count.
So what is it like then, since you've seen teams, expansion teams come in, once they do get rolling, how welcomed are they? How excited is everybody around the league to have another opponent to play against?
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps. It's amazing because it brings this whole new energy, and every team, every supporters group is different, you know. So it's like you learn so much about the scope of soccer in this country and sort of how the regions define the soccer culture there. And so it's one of the reasons, like I said, I'm so stoked about soccer coming to the Southeast, because it's a totally different fan base than what you would get in New York or what you would get in LA. And they're all unique and individual. And I get to travel a ton I did get to travel a ton for my job. And so being able to go to all these different cities and kind of like take it all in and get to try the different food and all of that, like it is so exciting, especially when there are new stadiums being built. It just sort of re-energizes everybody when a new team comes into the league.
Yeah, I can see from some of the comments, we've got some pretty passionate fans, so hopefully they bring that heat when we're playing in 2021.
I have no doubt they will.
Don't bring the fire for us. We're just here to answer any questions that you might have. But people seem really excited and pretty pumped and fired up just to get this team up and running. And I know we can't wait to have you back in Charlotte, because I'm sure you'll be back for when that inaugural game happens.
Cannot wait.
And it's going to be so much fun.
I'm so excited. I love Charlotte so much. It's one of my favorite cities in the States. And I just think that I'm already so impressed with, the fact that like you guys, you don't even have a team yet, and you're doing these Instagrams, and it's like there's still this, it's here, you know, like soccer in Charlotte is already here. And so by the time the team is actually put together, like you guys are going to be like way ahead of the game. It's amazing.
Awesome. Well, Susanna, thank you so much for the time and for chatting with us and letting people get to meet you. And I know we'll be seeing a lot of you in the upcoming season.
This was so much fun. And Tiffany, again, I'm just so thrilled to have you in the MLS family and can't wait to watch the work you're doing. Thank you so much for having me on. And it was great to meet you finally.
Yes. Nice to meet you too. All right. Take care, Susanna. Thanks everybody that tuned in.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. We appreciate you guys, and we look forward to, I guess, getting to interact with you guys even more on social media. I know we're all at home. I know you guys are really eager about this team. I'm just as eager about this team, but know that a lot of work is going on behind the scenes, and we're just so eager for this product to be able to take the field. So we appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.